Part 101. The Koi Fairy Wife is Sweet as Honey, Love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Su Xiaozhaji. Chapter 1002. At least at this time, a lot of trouble can be avoided. She quit Weibo, put on her phone, and stopped looking at it. After a whole day of hot searches, more and more melon-eating netizens and passers-by who were originally not interested in Jinli's wedding were also led into the trap. Then the lemons started. Everyone has dreams when they are young, just like every child likes to listen to beautiful fairy tales. Even though he is no longer so childish and innocent when he grows up, when he really sees such a manner, everyone will still click on it. Go in and take a good look. By this time, Akon and his boss knew that the time had come. They didn't send out anything all day yesterday, and some competitors from the same company were already mocking them. Hey Akon, didn't you go to Jinli's wedding yesterday with a camera on your back? Why didn't you release anything? Even if you don't take any good photos, it's okay to take a beautiful photo to increase the popularity. The company's leaders just wanted to question him directly. The company spent so much effort to squeeze people in and didn't give anything back. It was such a loss. It was Akon's boss who shouldered the pressure and withstood it until today. Only the two of them knew the content of the news. This is also their company's default rule. Even if they are colleagues in the same company, the news they interview is not public to each other, many of them are exclusive. If it is exposed casually, who does it belong to? Now, it is finally ready to be sent out. With excitement, Akon opened the backend of his computer, copied the copy that he had edited and revised several times, and added pictures. Sent successfully. He breathed a sigh of relief. The boss looked at his actions, sighed, and loosened his collar. I bet that in 3 minutes, I will receive a call from the big boss. Before he finished speaking, his cell phone rang. The boss looked down and said helplessly, "Okay, it seems that the big boss cares about this matter more than I thought." He got through. The speakerphone was not on, and Akon couldn't hear the specific content of the chat, but from the boss's reply, it seemed like it was a big deal with the big boss. The boss glanced at him and made a reassuring gesture. "I'll take care of it," he mouthed to Akon and turned around and left the office. Akon guessed that his boss went to the big boss's office. When his boss left, Akon breathed a sigh of relief, fell into his chair as if he had lost all strength, and quietly looked at the news he had posted. Half an hour later, the boss came back. Seeing Akon, he smiled, "Just wait for the company's marketing." Akon was a little surprised but not surprised. The ability of the boss is not limited. Even if it is such an outrageous thing, he can convince the big boss and let the company start buying a navy to promote it. Don't know exactly how it is done. "You are so awesome." Akon gave a thumbs up with a heartfelt smile. The boss glared at him, "I have sacrificed my future for so many years. If you kid overturns the situation, I will beat you to death." Akon was also a little uneasy, but thinking about the way Jinli chatted with him that day, he felt more confident. "Don't worry, I believe I won't let you down." Zhongxing Entertainment acted very quickly. Before deciding on marketing, they contacted the online companies they often cooperate with. See you later. The Koi Fairy Wife is Sweet as Honey, Love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Su Xiaozhaji. Chapter 1003. However, after seeing the mission, the Navy company that we often cooperated with said. Originally, it was just a routine operation of getting money to do things, but after all, they had cooperated so many times. The management of Shuahun Company had the conscience to call the boss of Zhongxing and ask politely if you got the wrong book. Navy Company, such a silly plot doesn't look like a normal person's style. Star boss. In fact, he also felt stupid, but for some reason, he was convinced by his subordinates and truly felt that anything was possible. He said, "That's right, you don't have to worry about anything else, just follow the script we gave you." Navy company, then, we just blow it? Boss Zhong Xing, okay. The boss of the Navy company looked at the copywriting given on the computer and felt a little confused. Zhong Xing is one of their big customers, and it has developed very well in recent years. The cooperation between the two parties is quite pleasant. The boss of the other party is a very smart businessman, and he is very optimistic about the future development of Zhong Xing. He is willing to develop long-term cooperative relationships with each other. However, after seeing this script, all the above impressions collapsed. At this moment, he just felt that the boss of the company he had cooperated with many times had a problem in his mind. Mutton fat white jade floor? Have you seen how many square meters the manor in Jinli covers? Are all the cobblestone paths Dongju? The fountain pool is full of gems. I think your brains are full of water. The stars didn't even have any hard requirements this time, they just let them brag and that was it. Just blow it to death. This is quite simple. Regardless of whether the other party is mentally retarded or not, he is a bastard if he doesn't make money. The boss of the Navy company called his subordinates and issued the task. The subordinate who received the mission. What is this? He has been working in the industry for several years, and this is the first time he has received such a strange task. But after all, he is just a Navy leader who has no feelings. He only takes money to do things and doesn't care about anything else. If the other party dares to write it, he dares to let his subordinates brag about it. Soon, articles with similar titles appeared on the homepages of major websites. Jinli's luxurious wedding of the century, what you don't know. Jinli wedding, do you think this is just a dreamy fairy tale manor? The truth is far more than that simple. Wang X's mansion worth hundreds of millions, Su XX's courtyard house, and Zhou XX's castle are all inferior to her dream manor. How much does Mr. Lu love Jinli? The truth is all hidden in this manor. Isn't that just bragging? Who can't do it anymore? In the past 2 days, the internet has been flooded with Jinli's wedding. Netizens have seen too many news talking about how luxurious the wedding is and how beautiful the manor is. Now that someone has mentioned it again, I feel in my heart. I can't help but feel a little disgusted, but I also think the title is a bit interesting. Harmful. Anyway, there is nothing going on right now, so click in and take a look. Countless people clicked in with this idea in mind. Then, ha 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 ha, what humming idiot wrote this copy? It made me laugh to death. Netizens scolded idiots and couldn't help but complain. Where are the primary school students from? Are they stupid when they read fairy tales? The fountain is full of gems and the floor is made of suet fat white jade. Do you think this is a novel in which everyone can control the lifeline of the global economy? The editor didn't graduate from elementary school. I'm an idiot. I'm determined. Hot chicken push, report it, report it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Koi Fairy Wife is sweet as honey, love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Su Xiaozhaji. Chapter 1004. However, viral marketing is terrible. People are calling idiots everywhere, and people are making complaints everywhere. It is undeniable that this matter has gained popularity. Whether it's good heat or bad heat. Anyway, he's on fire. It has become a trending topic, and it has become the first trending topic. At this time, netizens were still looking at this news like a joke, with all the words ha 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 below. There are also many fans at Jinli who started making memes. At Jinli is a koi, Jinli Jinli, come and see this. Little fairy, do you know that you live in such a luxurious manner every day? Jinli Jinli, is your family short of servants? I can be a nanny, gardener, or sweeper. I don't want a salary, I just need to go to your fountain and pick up a stone. The whole manor is covered with mutton fat white jade, ha 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 ha. Even Mary Sue novels dare not write this. Do these marketing accounts really have no brains at all? Actually, you have all misunderstood these marketing accounts. In fact, what they say is true. The manor is the golden house built by Father Lou for the little fairies, and the most beautiful fairies in the world are hidden inside. It's all because we don't understand, dog head. Wow, these YXH now don't even have IQs to gain attention? Netizens were laughing and joking, but no one took it seriously. However, no one can tell that this matter will turn around. It was the rightful owner who admitted it himself. Jinli replied with a comment that would be directed towards her. Jinli is a koi. You see, my family is not short of servants. In addition, what is said in this news is indeed true. What is said in this news is true. Netizens who were laughing were confused. They looked at Jinli's reply and felt very confused. Is Jinli drunk? Otherwise, could it expand like this? Many fans left comments under Jinli's reply asking her if she said the wrong thing when she was drunk, and they quickly deleted the reply. They really care about Jinli. After all, if you say something like this, you will probably be laughed at by the entire network. Unfortunately, the rightful owner did not understand their concerns. Jinli replied very soberly, I'm not drunk. Fans. I can't carry you anymore, my little fairy. 10 minutes later. Hashtag Jinli's response to the super luxury manor hashtag started trending in the search. 20 minutes later, the hot search moved into the top 5. A lot of abuse and ridicule began to appear in the message area. Jinli, are you really bloated? Do you really think you are a fairy when you are called a little fairy by fans? I laughed so hard looking at the screenshot. The fans were still thinking of asking Jinli to delete the reply, but she didn't expect her to post another one directly and acknowledge it. Is this because she got married and made her brain stupid? One is really brave enough to brag, and the other is really brave enough to admit it. It's a perfect match. Let me not talk about anything else. As for the strip of mutton fat white jade covering the entire manor, the real possibility is almost zero. Even if you are true, I assume what you said is true, then I think at Mr. Lu Genjilu is going to panic now. Can you explain the source? How could my Tianjinlai be so stupid, after not being in the entertainment industry for 3 years and yet being praised by fans? Is it really stupid? Jinli, you are drunk and talking nonsense. Remember to delete the comment. Jinli, you are drunk and talking nonsense. Remember to delete the comment. Jinli, you. Tisk. Are the fans still making excuses for the protagonist? Sincerely, it's a pity that people don't appreciate it. For more updates. See you later. The Koi Fairy Wife is Sweet as Honey, Love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Sushao Zhaji. Chapter 1005. This turmoil was completely expected by the stars. Most of the attacks on the internet were directed at Jinli, but the pressure from the stars was not small. Because netizens found out who sent this news first. Even if only a small number of people point to them, the pressure is enormous. Now, just wait for a hammer, Akin's boss said. Akin licked his lips nervously. Yes. He didn't say too many words, but he began to pray secretly in his heart, hoping that Jinli could produce evidence and that Mr. Lu could handle it. So what are Jinli and Lu Genjia doing right now? Browsing Weibo. Comments. The more I swipe, the less happy I become. Jinli, what's going on with these netizens? What I said is true. Even if you don't believe it, you still want to scold me. Lu Genjia was also very dissatisfied. Tisk, these humans are really ignorant. If such a small thing is said to be impossible, how much does it mean? Jinli and Lu Genjia looked at each other. Lu Genjia said, I will also make a statement. All the netizens were scolding Jinli, and he couldn't stand it. It's better to divert your attention. So, he logged into Weibo. As a result, netizens who followed Lu Genjia discovered that Lu Genjia, who had not posted any news for N years, had updated it. The content is as concise as ever. He took a screenshot of a picture of Jinli's seal and commented, "Lugenja V, it is indeed true. Melon-eating netizens. No, these two people really went crazy together? Oh my god, does marriage really make people lower their IQ? What the two of you said, if you were normal, could you say it? Although, I have always thought that Father Lu was very masculine, I envied Jinli, and her boyfriend loved her very much, but, what happened today is too much, right? This is not how to pamper your wife. I wonder if the two couples have been bewitched, too abnormal? I was also scared when someone mentioned it above. I heard that there are many underhanded tactics in the entertainment industry, such as raising imps and the like. The more I think about it, the more scared I am. Could it be true?" After Jinli finished checking the comments on her Weibo, she started to check Lugenja. "The more I brush, the angrier I get. Baffling." She switched to her Weibo homepage and was about to post a statement, but found that she couldn't send it. Jinli. Weibo crashed again. Jinli. She was so excited that she had no place to vent. She smashed her phone on the bed angrily, and cursed on Weibo, "I've only been back for a few days, and this damn thing has collapsed 3 times. It's really unacceptable." Weibo technical guy. "We haven't complained yet, so what are you complaining about? When you didn't come back, we might not have made a mistake this year. You returned to the entertainment industry, now it's better, but you collapsed 3 times in a row. Is it our fault? Why can't you reflect on how much you sent? The technicians had no human rights, so they had to work overtime with iced coffee and finally fixed all the bugs." Several technical guys looked at each other, their eyes fell on each other's worrying hairline, and each other sighed deeply. "Brother A, I was really wrong. I will never set a flag casually again. I will never have a smooth backstage again. Brother B, I found that Jinli is really poisonous. She simply exists to slap us in the face. I also believe now that no technical update can catch up with Jinli and cause trouble rhythm." Brother C was silent for a moment, seeing through everything. 5 updates, wait for the chapter to check out. The Koi Fairy Wife is Sweet as Honey, Love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Sushao Zheji. Chapter 1006. When Weibo was restored again, Jinli finally posted on Weibo. Probably because there had been some time in between, the sudden impulse had subsided. She now lost her desire to criticize others and decided to reason with these netizens. So, what is the way to be reasonable? First of all, she must be Jinli. What does this mean? Meaning, she called the Universal Wet Nurse Supervision Bureau. The moment he received the call, Long Hao actually wanted to pretend that he couldn't hear it. Because he also saw the hot search. Based on his intuition and his understanding of Jinli, he had no doubt that nothing good would come of this call. Unfortunately, it is impossible not to answer. After all, he works in the Bureau of Supervision. And Jinli is the father of the Bureau of Supervision. So Team Indifferent Dragon answered the phone and used his signature indifferent voice. "Is something wrong again?" I have to say that the word again is used quite soulfully. The relationship between the two parties changed very subtly when Jinli returned to heaven and then to earth. In the past, Jinli was always called by the Bureau of Supervision and Supervision. As soon as Jinli heard this, he knew that there was trouble for him, which made him very annoyed. Now it has completely changed. The Bureau of Supervision no longer looks for Jinli, but Jinli takes the initiative to look for them. And every time I look for it, something happens. And it's trouble. Long Hao. The reincarnation of heaven is really not just talk. Jinli pretended not to hear the indifference in Long Hao's tone and directly stated the reason for her visit. "You must have read the hot searches, right?" Long Hao, "Yeah." Jinli, "I want you to contact me some people." Long Hao, "Who is it?" Jinli thought for a while, "It's just various expert appraisal agencies and so on." I'm going to hold a live broadcast and let them authenticate. Humph, those netizens dare to say that I'm bragging. I'm going to find someone to show it to them. Long how? He said tactfully, as a human being, be a little low-key, wouldn't you? But I'm not a human being, little fairy fish said confidently. Lugenja and I decorate our own house with our own treasures, why should we be scolded? Long how? What you said does seem to make some sense. Jinli added, I know it's troublesome for you, so I'll go look through my little treasure house to see if there are any exercises suitable for practitioners, and I'll find some and send you a few copies. Is that okay? The fairy fish is not a fish that takes advantage of humans in vain, she is very generous. Long how, okay, the professional appraisal agency will contact you before noon. Jinli. She muttered, I knew that you are not as upright as you appear on the surface, and you don't like to suffer losses. Long Hao pretended not to hear and said calmly, I'll hang up if nothing happens. After that, I really hung up. He was the only person in the Divine Supervision Bureau, including the entire Huiguo Suanman, who dared to hang up Jinli's phone. Cool, cool, that's right. But Jinli didn't care about this either. After receiving Long Hao's accurate reply, she jumped up and happily started editing Weibo. Jinli is a koi. Tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning, I will start a live broadcast and ask an absolutely professional appraisal agency to do the appraisal. The whole process will be completely presented in front of everyone. Please don't call me bragging, I'm not drunk either. See you tomorrow morning. Netizens. 6 updates, okay, good night. Don't forget to vote for the monthly ticket. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Koi Fairy Wife is Sweet as Honey, Love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Su Xiao Zhaji. Chapter 1007. No, are you serious? Also ask a professional appraisal agency? Jinli's speech sounded so confident that netizens couldn't confirm it. What nonsense is she talking about? Is there really a 1 in 10,000 chance of this happening? Is it really impossible? But if there is really a 1 in 10,000 possibility, her brain must be in a huge hole, right? Didn't Lu Zhenjie build this manor for her? If this is true, then the wealth came from the Lu family. Although it is true that Mr. Lu has become the richest man in the flower country in recent years, if he is so arrogant, isn't he really putting himself on the fire? Jinli logged out after posting on Weibo. She had a hunch that there would definitely be a lot of slanderous remarks below. If you watch too many little fairies, you will definitely be unhappy. She still couldn't find happiness for herself. Seeing her like this, Lu Zhenjie couldn't help but comfort him. How can you compare yourself with a group of ignorant mortals? Jinli pursed her lips in displeasure. If you don't take it seriously, then don't be so embarrassed. Lu Zhenjie. Okay, he nodded. I admit, I feel a little uncomfortable. It's just that he doesn't care as much as Jinli about what netizens think, and he just feels that these stupid mortals don't understand anything. Not to the point of being angry. Don't be angry. I'll prepare delicious food for you. You order it? If you want to eat anything, I'll ask someone to buy the ingredients right away, he said. Jinli's eyes returned to him, and she snorted twice before slowly naming a few dishes. Asterisk. Very early the next day, someone came to visit the manor. Yes, it's a visit to the manor. After Jinli and Lu Zhenjie got married, they lived in this manor. This team is said to have gathered the world's top authoritative appraisal institutions and experts in the field of flower country antiques, with a total of 12 people. They drove their own cars and knocked on the door of the manor with professional tools. At this time, the time had just reached 8 o'clock. When they arrived, Jinli and Lu Zhenjie were having breakfast in the restaurant. The steward went to meet them. As soon as the group of people entered the manor, they were shocked by the scene in front of them. They had searched for related pictures of this manor on the internet beforehand, and they all had a rough idea of the exquisiteness and beauty of this manor. But having a general impression and seeing such a shocking scene with your own eyes can be said to be two completely different experiences. There were two old men with gray beards who looked very old. They didn't even bother to say hello to the owner first. They had already separated themselves from the large group and looked around the manor carefully. "Housekeeper!" he shouted politely twice, but no one paid him any attention. The butler raised his voice and shouted a few more times. The few experts whose eyes were wandering around reluctantly looked back. The housekeeper said softly, "Miss Jinli and Mr. Lu are waiting for you in the lobby. Let's go there first." 12 professionals nodded. The group of people walked towards the solemn hall, but they couldn't help but look in both directions. Of course, with just a few glances, they couldn't tell what materials were used in the manor. But after all, these people are experts who have been immersed in this field for many years. With just one glance, most of the disdain in their hearts has been restrained before they came here. They are all top people in their respective fields. When they saw the online news yesterday, they scorned this so-called Neverland Manor and thought it was just grandstanding by the rich. The koi fairy wife is sweet as honey, love from the koi goddess. Author, Sushao Zhaji. Chapter 1008. And yesterday, when they received calls from their respective bosses, they were even more dissatisfied. How valuable is their time? You want to waste it on something like this? Especially when I came today, I met several colleagues at the gate. Okay, now, everyone's mood is even worse. What do you, the Lu family, mean? It's not enough to invite me just one person, why are you inviting so many people? Don't you believe me? Therefore, before entering the door, everyone held their breath. Okay, don't you need to ask a professional to identify it? Don't you still believe what the family says? I'll help you identify it later. Whoever fakes it will be embarrassed. Anyway, don't expect me to save face for you. The above are the inner thoughts of professionals when they enter the door. And after entering the door, at first glance, everyone said, "Wow, this manor is cleverly designed, gorgeous and not gaudy. The owner's aesthetics are much better than expected." Everyone took a second look. This floor is indeed as rumored on the internet. The texture is transparent and the texture looks very good. No matter what the material is, it is still good. I really want to squat down and study it right away. But now is not the time. Everyone restrained their desire to squat on the spot and followed the housekeeper and walked forward honestly. The further they walked inside, the more amazed they became. Extraordinary, really extraordinary. I originally thought that the compliments on the internet were all complimentary, but now that I saw them with my own eyes, I felt that they were not half empty. Not only is it true, but there is also a hint of praise that is not as good as the real thing. Arrived at the lobby, Jinli and Lu Zhenjia were waiting there. Before they could speak, a gray-haired old man took a step forward, looked behind the two of them and praised, "This picture of fish playing with lotus leaves is so skillful and natural. The aura is compelling. The brush strokes are round and smooth, and the paper is clear and delicate. I dare to ask, which famous artist did it create?" Following his words, everyone looked towards the painting. It was a painting hanging on the wall of the hall, which showed two koi carp playing among the lotus leaves. Those who know Chinese painting feel that although this painting technique is not perfect, its aura is first class. With this kind of talent, if you are willing to work hard, you will become a great person in the future. Although those who don't understand painting can't see these ways, they can still feel them. These words are lifelike, as if the scene in the painting will come alive in the next moment. "Ah, you're talking about this," Jinli tilted his head with a smile on his face, "I drew it myself when I had nothing to do." She was obviously in a good mood because she had just been praised. The old man who spoke glared, "Did you draw it yourself?" Jinli nodded, "Yes." The old man glanced at her suspiciously, seeming a little suspicious of her age. "Did you really draw it yourself?" At this time, the housekeeper who was standing aside came over and said, "It was indeed painted by Miss Jinli herself. It was the work made 2 days ago. Many people in our manor have seen it." Old man. He stared at Jinli and was silent for a long time. Then he sighed sadly, You have such a good talent, why should you join the entertainment industry and become a star?" Jinli said confidently, "When I enter the entertainment industry, many people will like me and praise me." The old man, "If you enter the painting world, with your talent, many people will like you, praise you, and even use you as a role model." Jinli blinked in confusion and asked, "Do you have as many fans in the entertainment industry?" Old man. It was the old man who lost. 2 more updates. See you later. I have to start asking for votes every day again. The koi fairy wife is sweet as honey, love from the koi goddess. Author, Sushao Zheji. Chapter 1009. This topic finally ended with Jinli's victory. A few people sat down, chatted with each other and introduced themselves. It was not that far away from 9 o'clock. Jinli communicated with the photographer and started the live broadcast. Everyone was a little shocked when Guanliang rushed in an instant. The live broadcast host specially invited next to him also murmured, "It officially starts at 9 o'clock. Why are there so many people now?" After all, she underestimated Jinli's traffic and the topic of this matter. It can be said that Jinli whetted the appetite of netizens yesterday. People who can watch the live broadcast at 9 o'clock will basically have time at 8:30. Of course, they had been on their mobile phones early. As soon as Jinli's live broadcast came online, they clicked in. "Have you started? Have you started?" Sure enough, I guessed that Jinli would not be on time, so I got it right. The clarity is okay. I saw there is a host. Jinli is going to do something big this time. You see the camera, is it indoors behind it? The set is really nice. Jinli said hello to the camera, "Hello everyone, the live broadcast will start soon. But today you and I are both spectators, and the main stage will be left to this beautiful host." The camera turns to the host. The female host showed a professional smile to the camera, "Hello everyone, I am Sun Lu, the host of today's appraisal live broadcast. Now, let's introduce the experts who are here. The first person on my left is Mr. Nbomingen from the SP Appraisal Association. The old gentleman standing first on the left was wearing a suit and had an elegant temperament. His grey hair was neatly combed behind his head. Hearing the host's words, he nodded lightly to the camera and said hello. I quickly searched to find out what this SP Appraisal Association is. Don't you even know what the SP Appraisal Association upstairs is? It is recognized as one of the most authoritative appraisal institutions in the world, with institutions in more than 200 countries around the world. Shit, I searched in bombing and found out that he is a big shot. Isn't Jinli taking this too seriously? You can't really do it, can you? Netizens watched the live broadcast in confusion. The host had already begun to continue the introduction. This is Mr. Su Kingan Su, also from the SP Appraisal Association. Hello, Mr. Su. Hello host, hello everyone, I am Su Chingan. Su Kingan was also wearing a suit. He looked to be in his 30s, wearing glasses, and full of bookishness. Netizens started searching again. Not surprisingly, he is another big shot with a name in the encyclopedia. This is Mr. Deng Shui from the SP Appraisal Association. This is Mr. N Swimming from the Flower Country Antiquities Research Institute. This is Mr. Li Fengguo from the Flower Country Antiquities Research Institute. Who is this? Netizens looked blankly as the host introduced the guests one by one, feeling that this incident far exceeded their expectations. I thought that today's so-called appraisal live broadcast was just that Jinli would take the live broadcast equipment and give us a tour of her manor and that would be it. I also thought I was just a cloud sucking a wave of dreamland. Shit, I just counted, there are a total of 12 appraisal guests, all of them are big guys whose names and qualifications can be found online. Is Jinli going to do something big? This lineup, ordinary cultural relics TV programs can't invite so many people, right? Jinli is awesome, Dad Lu is awesome. See you there. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Koi Fairy Wife is sweet as honey, love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Sushao Zheji. Chapter 1010. I thought I was here to watch a celebrity live broadcast, so can I actually watch a hardcore appraisal show today? What should I do? I'm a little scared now. Isn't that stupid marketing account that broke out before really true? Is Jinli really so luxurious that she uses mutton fat white jade to pave the floor? If she dares to ask so many people to identify it, it must not be fake, right? Wow, I'm all excited now, looking forward to it. The number of people in the live broadcast room soared, and Jinli was very happy and didn't keep the netizens waiting. It's almost 9 o'clock, and netizens must have been waiting for a long time. Let's not talk nonsense and get started, she said. She glanced at the camera in passing. What are you most interested in? The live broadcast room immediately started to swipe the screen. Fountain gem. Floor. Floor. I am interested in them all. Do it all again. Floor, 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 floor. I have never seen what mutton fat white jade looks like. Jinli took a look and said to everyone, it seems that the most people are interested in the floor, so let's appraise the floor first. After hearing what she said, Mr. Embalming, who was introduced first and had the most seniority, asked her, okay, but Jinli, which place are you going to let us appraise? Mr. Embalming was the one who initially fell in love with the picture of fish playing with lotus leaves painted by Jinli. He was dissatisfied when he came. After seeing the Chinese painting, his impression of Jinli completely changed. He was thinking about how to persuade Jinli not to waste his talent and come back to paint. Naturally, his attitude towards Jinli was much gentler. He asked Jinli this way to help Jinli step down. When he saw the panoramic view of the manor, he also felt that Jinli might have used mutton fat white jade for decoration somewhere. But at the end of the day, I don't believe that anyone can be so extravagant as to use high-quality jade worth thousands of gold everywhere in such a large manner. However, Jinli didn't appreciate it. She smiled faintly. It can be anywhere, you can choose it yourself. Mr. N. Okay, since you said so. Of course, it is not easy to conduct an appraisal in the hall. No matter how big the place is, it will not be convenient for more than a dozen professionals, including the photographer and host. Everyone walked outside, and the 12 people discussed it and decided to divide it into 3 waves and randomly select 3 places for appraisal. They asked Jinli for his opinion, but Jinli didn't care, it's all fine. Netizens who saw this scene. When it was over, I saw Jinli's expression and began to believe that all this was true. Me too. If it is fake, at this point, there is absolutely no way that I can be so confident, right? Is it possible that these 12 people have been bribed to cooperate with Jinli in a play? Could you please search for these guests first and then think about it with your brain? First of all, this is not a group of people at all. Secondly, several old gentlemen inside are big names in the appraisal industry, and this is a public live broadcast. Is it necessary for him to slap himself in the face and put him in danger of death? The person above is right. I had prepared melon seed soda spicy strips to eat while watching, but Mo is so nervous right now. Oh my god, if this is true, then where does Jinli live every day? To say it's a pile of jewelry is an understatement, right? Can she sleep every night? Isn't she worried? If I had a house like this, I would have to worry about someone climbing over the wall and knocking on the floor every day. The checkpoint failed and there are only 4 updates. If I raise the flag again, I will be a fool. Good night. The Koi Fairy Wife is sweet as honey, love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Sushao Zhaji. Chapter 1011. Ha 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 ha, the person who knocked on the floor in front of me laughed to death. We poor people should not worry about the life of the rich. Quietly waiting for the results. During the live broadcast, 3 waves of people had chosen 3 places at random and squatted down. Mr. Embalming was the first to give the footage. He was the oldest and most authoritative person present. He didn't use any equipment. The moment he knelt down and took a closer look, his whole face changed. The photographer took a close-up at the right time and faithfully recorded his expression. The host also asked, "Mr. N, what did you find?" Mr. N didn't even look at the camera. He looked a little serious and whispered, "Can you be quiet and let me take a closer look?" They were not very polite words, but when they came out of his mouth, they didn't make people feel surprised or arrogant. The host shut up obediently and signaled the photographer to zoom in. Mr. Embalming directly reached out and touched the floor. Even though the floor had been stepped on by countless people, he didn't mind it being dirty at all. Viewers watching the live broadcast saw this and left messages one after another. What's the situation? I think this is probably true. I didn't feel it when I looked at the photos before, but now that the live broadcast camera is zoomed in, I really think this floor looks great. I don't understand a bit to identify whether it is jade. You just need to look at it with your eyes and touch it with your hands. Don't you need any professional machines? Let me give you some popular science upstairs. People who really understand jade can completely distinguish it with their eyes. By the way, let me search for embalming on the encyclopedia. I don't want to do any more popular science. What a waste of natural resources, what a waste of natural resources. After squatting and looking at it for a while, Mr. N's face became quite ugly, and he cursed at the beginning. The host was startled. "Mr. N, what are you?" The assistant next to him helped him up. Mr. Embalming's face turned a little red and he was angry. Such a high-quality jade is used as a floor and is trampled by thousands of people. Only such a vulgar person can do such a thing. Oops. This sentence alone is equivalent to an admission. The floor is indeed paved with mutton fat white jade. The host got this in a second and quickly sought confirmation. So, is the material of this floor really mutton fat white jade? Mr. N also knew the purpose of his coming today. He glanced at the host and was still angry. "Isn't it just for this appraisal that you came to us today?" I dare not say anything else. I just randomly selected this one place is indeed jade, mutton fat white jade, and it is of the highest quality. As he spoke, he looked forward and ignored the host. He walked a few steps forward and squatted down to take a closer look. It seems that he wants to confirm whether this area is jade or whether other places are also. The photographer quickly followed, and at this time, the camera also cut to several other waves of professionals. Netizens soon discovered that among the 3 waves of people, in this link, except for someone who took out something similar to a magnifying glass to observe carefully, almost everyone looked directly with their eyes and touched it with their hands. Use more movements. Jinli stood behind the camera and yawned out of boredom. The host happened to notice her and gave the photographer a look. The photographer turned the camera, and the little fairy yawning flashed before his eyes.